You think you know Indonesia, a tropical paradise. Beautiful beaches, friendly people. But here is the truth almost no one talks about. Indonesia quietly controls some of the most important choke points, resources, and demographic forces shaping the future of the world. And what happens here won't stay here. This is Indonesia. Officially the Republic of Indonesia. It's located in Southeast Asia, a vast nation stretching between the Indian Ocean and the Pacific Ocean. Indonesia is a sovereign UN member state, a founding member of ASEAN, and one of the most influential nations in the global south. It is not strictly aligned with the West or the East. Indonesia plays its own game. Indonesia is home to over 275 million people, making it the fourth most populous country on Earth behind only China, India, and the United States. The numbers alone don't tell the story. Here's what makes it extraordinary. There are over 300 distinct ethnic groups and more than 700 living languages spoken across its islands. The median age is around 30 years old. This is a young, ambitious, and growing population. About 57% of people live in urban areas, with 43% in rural settings. Population growth is slowing, but economic participation is on the rise. This is not a declining nation. This is a demographic powerhouse in motion. Geographically, Indonesia is not just one country. It is a massive archipelago of more than 17,000 islands. It shares land borders with Malaysia, Papua New Guinea, and Timor-Leste. But its real power lies in what it controls. Indonesia sits astride some of the most important maritime trade routes on Earth, including critical access to the Strait of Malacca, through which roughly 25% of all global trade passes every year. It has vast rainforests, towering volcanoes, and enormous coastlines. Its biodiversity is legendary. But beneath its soil lie resources the modern world cannot function without: nickel, coal, copper, and gold. Indonesia's story is ancient and epic. It begins with powerful maritime empires like Sriwijaya and Majapahit, which dominated regional trade centuries before European ships ever appeared on the horizon. Then came colonialism. For over 300 years, the islands were ruled by the Dutch, exploited for their spices, labor, and resources. World War II shattered the colonial order. Japan occupied the archipelago, and when the war finally ended, Indonesians seized their moment and declared independence. In 1945, the Republic of Indonesia was born not quietly, but through a bloody and determined revolution. Since then, the country has survived authoritarian rule, economic collapse, and a remarkable rebirth into a thriving democracy. Few nations have transformed so fast and so hard. At the heart of Indonesia is a culture that is deeply communal. The core values that bind this diverse nation together are family, respect, harmony, and faith. Indonesia is the largest Muslim-majority country in the world. Yet, it officially recognizes 6 religions, and the principle of religious coexistence is embedded in its national identity. The unifying language is Bahasa Indonesia, but it coexists with hundreds of regional tongues. From the intricate patterns of batik textiles to the mystical shadows of wayang puppetry, from the solemn traditions of Ramadan to the vibrant ceremonies of Bali, Indonesia's culture is not exported loudly, but it is immensely rich and complex. Now for the part you haven't heard. Here are 3 shocking facts that reveal Indonesia's hidden power. First, Indonesia controls the world's largest nickel reserves. Nickel is a critical resource for electric vehicle batteries. The entire green energy future, in many ways, depends on Indonesia. Second, Indonesia experiences more earthquakes than almost any country on Earth, sitting directly on the Ring of Fire. Yet, it continues to build megacities, massive infrastructure, and advanced industry, including a brand new futuristic capital city currently under construction. Third, Indonesia is one of the largest contributors to global internet culture, with a massive and highly engaged online population. Yet, it remains massively underrepresented in Western media narratives. The world consumes Indonesia's resources, but it rarely listens to its voice. Let's talk about the economy. Indonesia has a GDP exceeding $1.3 trillion, ranking it among the world's top 20 economies. Its key industries are manufacturing, mining, agriculture, and a booming digital services sector. Its greatest strengths are its huge domestic market, its strategic position for global trade, and its young dynamic workforce. Of course, it faces challenges: infrastructure gaps, income inequality, and severe environmental pressure. But what is its trajectory? The answer is rising. Cautiously but steadily. Indonesia is strategically positioning itself as a manufacturing and electric vehicle supply chain hub, moving beyond its old role as just a raw material exporter. On the world stage, Indonesia is not loud, but it is incredibly influential. It is a leader within ASEAN, a key member of the G20, and an active voice in the non-aligned movement. It acts as a diplomatic bridge between Islamic nations, the rest of Asia, and the West. Militarily, it is moderate. Diplomatically, it is strategic. And economically, it is absolutely essential. Indonesia doesn't seek dominance, it seeks balance. So why does Indonesia matter? It matters because it sits at the crossroads of global trade. It matters because it controls materials that are essential for the clean energy transition. It matters because it represents a model of pluralism and tolerance in an increasingly divided world. And it matters because it shows how emerging nations can rise and carve out their own path without being forced to choose sides in a new global power struggle. If you ignore Indonesia, you misunderstand the future. If you want to understand the world beyond the headlines, subscribe to Wise Build Insights, where nations, power, and truth come together. Thanks for watching.